now we can get into someone we actually believe in, and that does give us a bit of hope. And Roberto De Zerbi, yeah, exactly. Roberto De Zerbi has done an interview with Ben Haynes, I think it is. Is it with Ben Haynes? Yeah, with Ben Haynes on the Spurs YouTube channel. 12-minute long. So we're going to get into that, and then we shall react to what needs reacting to. So let's get into it.
You've been here 56 days now. Does this feel like day one?
We closed one page and we opened another page today because we have no time. We have to organize the next season. We have to build a stronger team. But I'm very happy and very proud of what every one of us we did was incredible, I think. But it's finished. Now we have to move on and to prepare the future of our club.
That is like the perfect answer, isn't it? That's exactly what you want to hear from him in this position, because we knew we were in the shit, but we don't want him to like think we've achieved anything. We want him to, okay, we've stayed up, but that's done with now.
Yeah, he said that right at the final whistle, didn't he?
Yeah, you know? But I want to hear it again.
Right, enjoy this for a day. Tomorrow, that's it. We focus on next season. There's no point thinking about, like, we should never be celebrating safety from the Premier League. You know, we always, if that happens, it's a disaster. Hopefully, you know, it will never happen again. But we need to focus right what went wrong and move forward and focus on next season and make it better.
Yeah, but it's all about. But I also hope, because he's saying now that's one book closed where we nearly got disaster, and now another big opening. And I hope, you know, I just hope he doesn't treat next season like Frank did. You know, every defeat. I remember we finished 17th last season. I remember this, remember that. Like, I hope because that was still following the same book. You know what I mean?
He won't do that.
He needs to close that book and start afresh and act like we can achieve what we want to next season.
Judging by the way he spoke about his players in these final 7 games of the season, he won't do that. He'll show them YouTube videos and make them say, well, look how good you guys used to be. Let's get back to that.
Exactly. And yeah, building a stronger team, obviously, that's what we all want. That's what
the thing is with Thomas Frank, he always built everything down. He built the club down. He built the players down. He has been raising them on a pedestal, raising them on a platform and making them better.
Yeah, it's true.
What have you learned about this club in the short time you've been here?
It's a shit show.
I feel a great connection with this club, maybe because I came in a very tough moment. We went through a difficult period, and I think we became stronger. No, I think we can keep in our mind, our head, what was the last season, the situation last season, and to become better for sure. Become better as a coach, as a players, as a club, and we can't make the same mistakes. Otherwise, we can't improve. We can't become better.
The connection with the fans has been very quick. Obviously, him saving us has obviously got that. Do you think he could? He's already a bit of a hero, obviously, in Tottenham. Do you think like that connection? How deep do you think it could go like, in the future? Do you think he could be as loved one day as like Poch or like Yol or someone or Redknapp?
Of course he can, 100%. I think already. I don't think you'll find a Spurs fan that has a bad word to say about Roberto De Zerbi. I really don't. I think, you know, Spurs fans have really taken to him really early on. So I think if he carries on this trajectory, then he can be on that level for sure. I genuinely believe that.
I wonder, though, how it will be next season if, you know, let's say we lose a few games and you know, he's getting frustrated. He's spitting his dummy out the pram, like a bit like Conte used to do sometimes. And that became quite divisive. You know, some fans would be like, oh, he's just telling the truth. He's saying it as it is. I love it. And then some fans would be like, you know, he's just engineering his exit. He doesn't want to be here. He's constantly, you know, causing problems with the club. Like, do you see De Zerbi? What would happen? What do you see De Zerbi doing that next season? Because this season it's all been about just getting survival, and he's been quite maybe a different character to what we expect this season, isn't he? He's been quite very friendly. He's been very uplifting, and now maybe he'll still be that next season. But obviously he's got a history, doesn't he, of blowing up in certain situations, or you know, being very critical. We've seen those clips of him in training. Sometimes the Marseille players being really critical. We've seen interviews where. You know, if fans haven't been happy with certain games, he says maybe I shouldn't be here. You know, if they're not happy with me, all this kind of stuff. So, like, if that happens, do you think fans will stick by him, or do you think it'll become a bit divisive?
Well, first of all, the first question you asked, do I think it will happen next year? And I think the only way that happens is if the board don't give him what he needs. He's already come out and said there's only 10, 11, 12 players that he can trust in this squad right now. So that suggests to me that there's a large section of this squad which, you know, he doesn't trust and doesn't believe in at this moment in time. Not to say that that can't change. So he's already said he's going to be strong with this board, and he needs to get what he wants. I think if he doesn't get what he wants and what he needs, then yeah, I do think that can happen. But I think the board has lost so much support from the fan base, even the people that were Enoch, you know, I think that's dwindling day by day. So I actually think more people, as opposed to Conte, I think some people sided with Conte, obviously, but I think more people will side with De Zerbi over this than the board.
I think what would probably keep De Zerbi more in favour with fans compared to Conte is that the football under Conte was just so bad. At times anyway, it just wasn't good. And when not only was football bad, and then he's getting divisive, and so it turned off a lot of fans. So at least with Conte, with De Zerbi, if the football is still kind of, you know, going the right direction, or it's football still what we want to see, then I think even if he does become a bit divisive, he'll have a lot more fans on board, because he's still playing that style of football that you can get behind. Whereas Conte, kind of when it turned, it's like a lot of fans just turned because they're just sick of the football anyway. You know what I mean? So I wonder. So I think it probably wouldn't be as bad under De Zerbi if that was to happen.
It's maybe been 24 hours since the scenes yesterday. Did you feel the love from the fans at the end when you have that moment on the pitch and they're all singing? Did you feel that connection?
By the beginning, I felt the connection with the players, with the club, but also with the fans. No, they need passionate people. And they need maybe people who believe to stay up. And I believe in to stay up at the beginning in my time. I was surprised about the negative thoughts in that period, no? Because I was focused on the qualities of the players, and at the end, if you work well, if you believe in yourself, if you try to put the players in the right condition to play, I think the results are normally to achieve, no?
Yeah, you definitely...
Yeah, I mean, at one point he seemed to be like the lone voice of the whole club. He seemed to be like only positive about us staying up. But I think what he says there, you know, you put some of these players in the right condition and you continually positive. The results we got, I mean, it sounds great now, 11 points out of 7 games, but it's not like we didn't go on some like unbelievable crazy run. We just got obviously enough points to stay up. But even that kind of form seems so far away when he first came, didn't it? And I think he ended
one
up
win seems so far away.
Huh?
One win seems so far away.
That's what I'm saying. So like, what he's saying is absolutely right. Like, these sets of players to stay up in this scenario shouldn't have been such a big deal. Shouldn't have been such a miracle that it turned out to be. And you know, that was kind of his mentality. Whereas, you know, Igor Tudor was giving out different messages. Frank was giving out a different message about the sets of players he's got and how difficult it is and all that kind of stuff. And maybe the players themselves started to believe what they were saying in terms of, wow, we're never going to get out of this. It's we're doomed and all this kind of stuff. And he just came and looked at the players and said, mate, you're well good enough to get 11 points. That's not really. It's not that difficult with the set of players we've got to get that amount of points.
He didn't even say that. He said we're good enough to get 5 wins in a row. Yeah. He was talking about. It's the same thing as what I said before. His man management style, first and foremost, was sensational. The stories that we're hearing about him taking the players in one-on-one meetings, regular one-on-one meetings, showing them YouTube videos of how good they used to be, the likes of Gallagher, the likes of Mawani and all the players that were underperforming. Yeah, fine, it worked with some, didn't work with others. But he elevated these players. He elevated them to a level which they hadn't been in all season. So you can only give him the top credit. And yeah, look, on the face of it, it shouldn't have been that hard. But when the rut sets in, as hard as it's set in with us, then, confidence, they say confidence is the most important thing in football. And our confidence was rock bottom. And he had to find a way to raise the confidence levels of this team, and he found it.
Mm-hmm. But he's probably, obviously we were in such a panic and we were, on the brink of disaster. And he's come in and everyone's talking about, we just got to survive, we just got to do this, we're on the brink here, we're really struggling. And he's like just come in and looked at the situation thinking, we're going to get enough points, what's everyone panicking about? That was kind of his mentality. And it was absolutely spot on.
Yeah, definitely felt that belief start to come through, and you certainly saw it with the players. But I wondered if there were any moments along the way that stood out for you in the 7 games as the most important moments?
I think, sincerely, the dinner the day of the dinner together, because you build a relationship in the training ground, on the pitch. After the training ground, the pitch, the football, there is people, there is a man, there is a relationship with the players, and maybe in that situation they knew better myself. I knew better them, and I think it was an important day. But to achieve the target is day by day, Is day by day. You can't lose energy. You can't lose. You can't lose training, and the reaction we showed after the defeat in Sunderland or in Chelsea is the same. But I think the reaction was good.
Was there any?
What do you think was different with Zerbi's dinner to Tudor's dinner?
Well, it's a bit different, because we heard Tudor came in and just started shouting at them and swearing at them and all this kind of stuff. De Zerbi came in and told them how good they are. So if you get taken out by dinner after someone's just shouting and screaming in your face, you know what I mean? It's different if you got taken out to dinner with someone that's actually trying to raise your level and telling you how good you are.
And it's a good point he makes about the reaction the squad had to those defeats, because on both occasions, I think the Sunderland one we lost, and then we could have can't remember what happened. We could have gone 4 points behind West Ham, I think, if they played Palace a bit later and they didn't win. But the reaction was we had a good performance against Brighton, and then we didn't lose till the Chelsea game. Chelsea as well, that game left the relegation door open, but the reaction was to go and win that game. And in fact, in the 7 games under Zerbi, we didn't have any back-to-back losses, did we? Which obviously during the season we had plenty of back-to-back losses. So that's actually a good point. The reaction to those defeats was a lot better than obviously previously.
Yeah, but I think another way you got to look at it as well is that in the games that we lost under Igor Tudor and even Frank towards the latter stages, the players are just playing that game being if we play this game with these tactics, 5 times out of 5, we're losing 5 times out of 5. They couldn't see or envisage probably a way how they play those tactics and how they go and win a game. With De Zerbi, you look at that Sunderland game, the first game under De Zerbi. It was a very tight game. We went to a very hard pitch. Sunderland amazing home form all season, and we narrowly lost by an unlucky goal. And already you could start to see the nucleus of that De Zerbi team. The passing was already a lot better. Maybe we didn't create as many chances as maybe we'd want to, but you could see we're a much more solid outfit as well. So there's that aspect as well.
So yeah, it's true. There were a lot better performances.
Was there anything on the pitch, or was there a game that you felt was definitive, deciding for us?
But again, Brighton, we played a great game. We deserve to win, absolutely. And the other game, the other crucial game was Villa Park, because we played well. We won against one great team, and they saw the right spirit, the right passion, the right attitude, and also the confidence of the player was different, completely different than 3 weeks before in Sunderland, for example. At the end of that game, I saw the players on floor crying. What is this situation? I said, no.
Sammy, we can't hear anymore.
Great memory about these 7 games.
Do you feel we'll be stronger next season?
It's back.
But for sure, I love smart people, and the smart people.
Well, he said the defining moments were those Brighton and Villa games. Obviously, those were our 2 best performances, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean.
Well, Everton maybe. Everton was pretty good.
Brighton was our first real good display. That was his second game.
Yeah.
First home game. I think. Yeah, I agree with him. Obviously, we didn't get over the line. We didn't win that game. I think the real defining moment was that Aston Villa game, though. The Aston Villa game, to go to a ground like that, yeah, fine, we can say what we want about the way Villa applied themselves that game, but we still had to go to that stadium and win the game when we hadn't won in so long.
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Like, Brighton was the first time we've actually had a good performance in however long. So there was, like, all of a sudden a bit of belief. Even though I remember at the end of that game, it was a weird one because we did a good performance and we should have won, but we didn't. And obviously West Ham, I think, went on to win. I don't know, I can't remember. But it was a weird feeling at the end of that game because we had got belief that maybe we could stay out because we had a good performance, but because we didn't win and we could see the last minute, it was like maybe it was all for nothing. Maybe we left it too late. But that was one game you're like, okay, maybe he can actually get us playing.
I think I remember feeling quite positive after that game, even though we conceded that last-minute goal. Just the way we played gave me a bit of hope that, there's still more life left at this team. But actually, if you really want to think about it, I think the real catalyst was that Wolves game, because if we didn't win that game, we were in a really bad situation if we didn't win. And that goal, 10 minutes to go, get our first win in, 4 or 5 months, whatever it was, that was the catalyst, I think.
I think, for me, that Wolves game, even after that Wolves game, because we lost Xavi, we lost Solanke.
Yeah, 100%.
And we didn't play well, and we did win.
But we got 3 points.
Well. We got what we won. Obviously, it was big. We had to win that game because Everton, I think, West Ham got a last-minute winner, didn't they, against Everton? So that we would have been 4 points behind. I think, obviously, we wouldn't have stayed up. But I remember after that game, I was still thinking, God, how we just lost.
But that was mainly because of the injuries.
Yeah. And also the performance wasn't good. So you're like, if we can keep playing like that and with worse players, how are we going to stay up? Then that Villa game...
You got to remember, though, what we were all saying before that Wolves game.
If we don't win that, we're down, yeah.
Not even if we don't win that, we're down. Well, that definitely we were saying. But we're also saying, because of the bad form that we're in and how bad we've been, any win, we just need to get any win. It doesn't matter how it comes. A gritty performance, a 1-0 win off someone's backside, just to give this team a bit of confidence. And I think that's what it did. It's
true. And then that Villa game, especially considering we just got even more injuries and we put in a performance like that and won, that really gave everyone belief, like, okay, we're going to do this. We're going to do this.
I love smart people, and the smart people learn from the mistakes. If this season was like this, it's because we made many mistakes, and sincerely, from the mistakes you have to find the reason to improve, to work harder, and to understand the mistakes. Otherwise, you can't compete.
You said at the
He likes smart people because smart people learn from their mistakes. I think that's quite clear what you say to like the higher ups there, isn't he? This season,
he said
many
stupid
mistakes.
people forget about what happened,
Exactly.
forgets about the past. Smart people rectify the past.
Pretty sure he's calling on the board to be smart.
Has to. They have to. Because, you know, we can have a good manager all we want. We've had good managers in the past that haven't done well. It's all about the tools that they're given, the structure around them, everything going into it. You know, everyone needs to be singing off the same hymn sheet.
Yeah, and we can't allow what happened this season to happen again. So I think he's been quite strong there, and let's just hope they heed what he's saying.
beginning, you had to limit your messaging in terms of the things that players would take on board. Are you excited to share your philosophy and what you want to bring to this team on the training field with more time?
Yes, but at the end, I think I gave a lot of details and ideas. No, I was not so strong because I thought maybe to go too strong is like lose the energy. No, because you can win the game with the style, but first of all you need the spirit, the attitude, the behavior, and the next season I'm ready to go stronger.
Next season he's ready to go stronger.
I welcome it. I welcome it. I can't wait till he goes stronger.
What do you think he means by that? Do you think he means, he said he didn't want to go too strong now because that gives a lot of energy. It gives off, you waste a lot of energy kind of worrying about what style of play you're playing, whereas we need to win, we just need the attitude first. But next season he's going to be stronger. So is he saying like he's going to be more intense with the way we play next season?
100%. I think we all know, I said it I think yesterday, all we've seen so far is the Zerbi light. We haven't seen full throttle the Zerbi ball yet. Next season he is going to be hard, he's going to be full throttle, pedal to the metal. We're going to see the Zerbi ball in its purest form. I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I think that's what he means as well.
Tell me what comes now in terms of recruitment. How soon do you look at what you want player-wise in the summer? And do you feel the club are there to support you in that?
Yeah, listen, we have a great relationship with Johan and Vinay and all board, and I have no doubt. But it's right, because I came for start a new plan, a new project, and the plan was not in Sunderland, was after Everton. After Everton, stay in Premier League, and my target was very clear at the beginning. I gave all my best. I pushed it to arrive on today, and from today we have to start to work. Look, my target when I came was today, to arrive today, after the last game and planning the next Premier League. But I'm sure we have not to change too many players. And it's not right. It's not right because we are lucky to have a lot of good players, a lot of good guys. But I think we have to complete the squad in the best way, with first level of players, with the right behavior of the players, because now the qualities of the players are important, but more important is the spirit, the mentality of these players. And now the job starts.
I love that. Now the job starts. But he said it before, obviously. He keeps saying we don't need to change too many players. I mean, I don't know what... But then he says, he only knows 10, 11 or 12 players that he thinks are good enough and have the right mentality or trust or whatever, which I think is interesting.
Too many players is subjective, though, isn't it? It could mean... depends what he means by too many players.
I mean, what is too many for him? I guess because it's not right. We have a lot of good players. But he says first-level players, which I'm guessing means first-team players in the starting 11.
Yeah.
That's
he
what
means top quality players, in my opinion.
Top quality players in the starting 11.
And I think when you're talking about not too many players, I guess it's just about how many we can shift out as well, because we can't bring in without shifting out. Our squad's bloated as it is. So we need to see what kind of players we can shift out. It's not... You can't go into a summer and get rid of 15 players and bring in 15 players. It's just not going to happen. So you need to be realistic in the situation. And I think, max, you're probably going to bring in 6 players for the first team. So I think...
For the starting 11?
No, for the squad.
For the squad, yeah.
So I think that's what he's talking about.
Mm. Yeah, so when he says first level players, you just think he means first team players, not necessarily starting 11.
I think he means just good players.
Just good players.
Mm.
So I wonder if because for the starting 11, how many would you think we would need? Maybe a keeper potentially, or if Romero goes a centre back, a centre mid, and then like 3 attackers.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't even think we need a centre back if Romero goes. I think.
Well, Senesi's coming in.
Yeah, I think that's enough. I think midfield needs 1 or 2, and I think the attack is the main area of focus. It has to be this summer.
You'd probably need 2 starting level players and probably another squad attacker.
I mean, for me, I'd love a new number 9. I'd love a new left winger.
I'm saying starting 11, left winger and striker.
Yeah.
Get Kudus on the right.
Yeah.
And then you probably want 1 or 2 for the squad.
Yeah, because look, the reality is, in every ideal world, and I think, I can't remember which manager said it, but many managers have said it, and he said it in terms of he wants 2 players in each position. Mm-hmm. That's what he wants. But those players, it can't be that the level drops too much if one of the players is injured. So they've got to be good players throughout. We can't be carrying any passengers.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a priority in terms of the work you would like to do with the players?
I want to improve the quality of the play, for sure. I want to improve build-up, because normally you are focused on the last 30 meters, but you can improve the last 30 meters if you play better in the first 70 meters. No, in build-up we have to improve in the ball possession. We have to improve in the control of the game, for sure in the finishing, the last pass, the assistance, and a lot of things. But we have time now for we have time to organize the improvement of the play.
What
Interesting he didn't mention defensively. Obviously, we have improved a lot defensively, fair play to him, but it's interesting that pretty much his whole focus was, we can't score, we can't shoot, we can't pass.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
That is where we're at. I don't think... Look, I've always said it. I said it all the way through this season. I said it last season as well. We have got very good players in defence. We do. Mickey van de Ven is a very good player. Porro is a very good player. Udogie is a good player. Christian Romero is a very good player. Vuskovic we've got coming through, who's a very good player. If we bring in Senesi, he's a very good player. We've got good players in defence. That's not what needed major surgery. The reason why the defence was failing is not because of the quality of the player, it's because of the structure of the team. Mm-hmm. That's why the defence was failing. It was clear for everyone to see where we lack real quality is going forward. That is where we lack the quality, and that's what needs the most focus.
Yeah, but it's interesting he's talking about that's what he's going to try and improve in training. the shooting, the finishing. He said everyone focuses on the last 30 metres, but the first 70 metres, that's where you can improve what happens in the last 30 metres, and that's something that Frank, I think, really struggled with, isn't it? Because the last 30 metres was utter dross, just spamming crosses, and that was pretty much it.
I know.
Whereas I think De Zerbi, we've already seen that the way he gets us playing centrally, even in little spurts, like even little times we've seen it this season, that can just open up all different kinds of spaces, and that's so going to be so different, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
What summer look like for you?
I'm looking forward to build the new team. Looking forward to call this player to speak with them and to introduce the new season and to speak with the new players we have to go to bring because we are lucky to stay here and we have to compete in the best way we can.
You mentioned yesterday that it felt like being underwater for 55 days. How does the air feel now?
I think it was the best day in football, and I'm not so young, and because when you win a trophy or when you win a league or when you are very nice moment, but when you stay up is better, is more
Please don't.
more intense as a moment, no?
We felt the...
Was Sunday better than Bilbao?
No, not for me. It was more important than Bilbao, I would say that. But I do get what he's saying.
There's a lot more on the line.
Exactly. I think, the relief that you saw on Sunday, I don't think it was celebration. I think it was relief. It was just pure and utter relief. Like I mentioned, like the pressure cooker, just going up, and then just a boom, a wave of emotions. Whereas in Bilbao, it was a bit similar because we haven't won a trophy in so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, yes, this weekend...
Bilbao was just pure elation, wasn't it?
Yeah. But this weekend was just like, it felt like the club had been saved, from a disastrous moment, which it had.
Yeah. I don't know if he wants to start putting out, though, that day is better than winning a trophy or a league or something like that. He said it is better. I don't know if that's the right message. I would say the joy that you probably get from trophies and leagues and stuff like that, it's just a lot more joyous and happy, and you're probably just so filled with happiness at those moments. Whereas yesterday, it's not about that. It's just more about understand there's that intensity of the occasion because there's so much on the line, and that kind of release of relief is powerful. But I wouldn't want to say that's better than the outpouring of joy of winning a trophy.
It's a feeling like you never want to feel again. It's like a near-death experience.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
The energy of the fans, and we felt everyone come together. Now we're all going to be apart for a little while. Do you have a message for the fans for the summer?
No, just to say thanks, because yesterday when we arrived with the bus was an incredible emotion, and if we stay up is also their credit.
All right. Big up to Zerbi, man. And it feels like we've finally got the right manager at the club. That's what it feels like.
I definitely love hearing him talk, and he's a much better speaker than these PR merchants who probably ChatGPT their statements and all that kind of stuff. So he's a great talker. I think Spurs, we're lucky to have him at the moment. To be fair, we are very lucky to have got him in at the time we did, and that he was available. And I don't think we even realised at the time how lucky we were. And now we fully know. And I think he's got all the fans' belief. And I love hearing him speak, and I can't wait to hear what he's got to say down the line.
Exactly. And De Zerbi we trust. Let's hope this board don't screw it up for him and us. Just one super